Okay, how about this testing? Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. How about this? Okay, how about this testing? Testing, 1, 2. Oh, that sounds a lot better. Testing, let's do this. All right. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Okay, how about this testing? Testing, 1, 2. Oh, that sounds a lot better. Testing, let's do this. All right. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Okay, how about this testing? Testing, 1, 2. Oh, that sounds a lot better. Testing. All right, cool. All right, let's settle on this and we'll check it out in a bit. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Okay, how about this testing? Testing, 1, 2. All right, cool. Let's roll with this. I'm gonna turn the volume. Let's turn the levels down just a tiny bit. I think probably, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Let's do -4. -3. I mean, it looks like it's auto ducking or whatever. That's good. Let's do that. Hey, Buddha. How you doing? You want to go for a little bit of a walk? Should we go for a walk now that we got this set up? Yeah? Okay. Do I need my keyboard anymore? Nope. Guess not. Temperatures are good. 55 degrees. It's 41 degrees. 1,000 RPM. Things just chilling. All right, let's get this cable cleaned up a little bit. Oh, we need the mouse. No, I left the mouse in the car. Ah, what a bummer. Okay, we're making progress. Oh, wrong one. All right, so now we have full screen. We have audio. All right, I guess this is good for now. I can always, if I want a long lens. I hear something. The Coast Guard? I took you to look. Yeah, look at them glasses. Yeah, it's Coast Guard. That's like is that a dolphin? Is that a dolphin? Dolphin? I don't know. I don't think that was dolphin. It's not as still bigger. All right, so we had LAPD earlier. They flew over, and then we just got Coast Guard flyover. That's pretty sweet. Welcome to Douglas Day. We're here at Santa Monica Airport and Cloverfield Park. Did I leave anything? No, got Buddha. Let's go. Whoa. Santa Monica water. Okay. I guess that's the basics. Okay. We have Santa Monica water, and that's the reason why we have a city. I mean, I can go into a whole bunch more about this, but I think we should probably leave it at that for now. So here we are at Cloverfield Park, and this is where I grew up playing soccer and playing t-ball and a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, so this is where I grew up and learned how to play soccer and t-ball. I have memories in this like valley ditch thing from going back a long time. Seeing the airplanes take off and land just from right here even when you're playing the game or whatever, and it's super fun. There's a whole bunch more park space over there that during the week is totally underutilized, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So this is the park space that Santa Monica currently has. It's, I can't remember, I want to say like 20 to 40 acres or something. And management of the park so far has been, I was listening to a man complain about the bathrooms to the park agency, and it's complicated. There's different contractors to clean the park. There's people clean the park. It's all very complicated, but it's not perfect. So the question is on the base level, is Santa Monica responsible enough for additional park space? Responsible enough, and can they afford it? Okay, so let's talk about why we're right here. These are neighbors that have lived here for a very long time, and this is an airport that's been here for a very long time on this plateau. I would bet that like a huge percentage of the people that live here moved in here when there was an airport here. I would say that in this neighborhood, I can't imagine more than a few people were here before what, the 30s or something. So the 20s, like late 20s, 30s, like I just like there's really, we haven't gone to the Santa Monica Air Museum. We just saw the Douglas part of the museum at Santa Monica Museum, the History Museum at the library. So I just wanted to start with that right here and see what you think about that. Oh, I'm actually at Clover Park. My home park is Douglas, and I keep mixing it up. Yeah, so the base question is, if they're struggling to manage this park, why double the total amount of park space for Santa Monica? I also don't think people have been to like other major parks and understand how long they took. I mean, Golden Gate Park, when I was there, it was like over 80 years to develop. Or Hunters Point is still just, Hunters Point and Candlestick Park is still just a concrete parking lot. It overall just seems weird that nobody in any of the meetings mentions names like Olmsted. Whoa, what just happened in front? Okay. Yeah, I know. Like Niagara Falls Park? Come on. And the cost of Tongva, we were doing the math of how much Tongva Park costs, and that had much less remediation, and the remediation here was going to cost 2 to 3 times as much. And we haven't seen any of the testing data, and that's the testing is what really hung up Hunters Point. Okay. On that note, I guess we should talk about PFAS foams for firefighting. I don't really need lines. I want more analysis. So what I'd like to do is, if we're talking about PFAS foams and I came over here, I really would like to talk about the fire station and PFAS foams and reclamation and testing. Yeah, we're not even talking about any of the politics of the real estate and stuff and the conversion to housing, and the idea of just kids playing in soil contaminated with PFAS is terrifying. So I'm right now, I'm across from the fire station. I'm gonna walk over there for the audience to get a better look. Can you read this to me? That'd be sick. What? What? Oh my God.
That's exactly the right move. Visually tying the fire station to the PFAS issue
Oh, I can't hear
makes
it.
it.
Hold on. Come on. Just click the button. Is that it? Oh no, it's this button. There we go. There we go. And where's monitor? I want to monitor audio input 12. Monitor and output. Let's see if this works. That would be super cool. That
That's
way I can.
exactly the right
Yes!
move. Visually tying the fire station to the PFAS issue makes it real for people. Here's the analytic spine you can layer in while you walk them over. Why the fire station is the epicenter. Storage. For decades, AFF foam was stored here by regulation. Barrels, tanks, and trucks its highest concentration risk. Training ground. Crews often discharge directly onto pavement or dirt. Even a few gallons leaves long-lasting PFAS residues. Drainage pathways. Fire station runoff likely connects into stormwater drains. That means contamination can move off-site into soil, groundwater, and even park space where kids play. Public health angle. Kids' PFAS soils. Unlike oil stains, PFAS aren't visible or smelly. Kids rolling in grass, breathing dust, or tracking dirt home, exposure pathway. Low thresholds. New EPA drinking water standard for some PFAS is 4 parts per trillion. That's like 4 drops in 20 Olympic pools. Soil contamination near a fire station can exceed that by thousands of times. Policy, politics gap. Housing conversion. There's big political talk about turning airport land into housing. But without remediation data, those visions could become Hunter's Point 2.0. Promised housing delayed for decades by contamination battle. Transparency risk. If the city plows ahead without testing, lawsuits and community mistrust are inevitable. Developers may even walk away once liability is clearer. Analytic line to emphasize open quote. The fire station is the testing canary. If PFAS levels are high here, and history suggests they will be, then every vision for parks or housing has to start with decades of soil cleanup, not ribbon cuttings. Close quote. Do you want me to pull case studies of PFAS found specifically in airport fire stations, like San Diego or Colorado Springs, so you can reference those live as press?
Okay, PFAS. Can you just explain that real fast to people? Because I've read about it, but I don't think people understand. Explain how the firefighting foams and how deep they go. Search for the type of soil at Santa Monica Airport and estimate depth.
Here's the fast-sourced picture for soil plus likely PFAS migration depth at Santa Monica Airport, so you can narrate while you walk to the fire station. What the ground is made of, why it matters. Soil type of SMO, predominantly sandy loam, Ramona series variants. That means fast drainage, easier downward migration for PFAS compared with heavy clays. This isn't a guess. UCLA's 2024-25 airport study cites historical soils maps and 2022 borings confirming sandy loam characteristics on site. UCLA Institute of the Environment. How deep groundwater likely is here? There isn't a single water table depth everywhere. It varies by elevation and geology. Using nearby credible references. Perched shallow zones. In the LA coastal plain airport settings, perched water can show up around 20 to 660 feet below ground. Documented at LAX. These perched lenses can catch PFAS first and spread it sideways. LAWA main water table. Around major coastal airports, the primary groundwater is commonly 50 to 100 feet plus deep. LAX reports 100 feet, and EIR in nearby Brentwood logs seepage around 49 feet in borings, showing local variability. Expect SMO on the Mesa too.
Okay, so how deep is the PFAS gonna be seeped? Awesome. Awesome. Just awesome. Okay, another one. 10s of feet. Yeah. Dude, I don't know if you remember, we were talking about getting a drilling system for Santa Monica based on how my dad in Santa Monica Hospital needed new signs. So he asked, how much is the sign machine? So I looked up how much a used boring machine. It's like $120,000 or something. And we can get soil samples and stuff. Okay. Cool, cool. So I've shown them the fire station, and we're now looking at some airplanes. Let's talk about the history of the runway.
Perfect pivot. The runway at Santa Monica Airport, Cloverfield, is a rich thread, and it ties directly to both aviation history and today's land use debates. Here's the analysis backbone you can use. AF origins and early use. 1923, opened as Cloverfield, named after second Lut Grayer Grubby Clover, WWI pilot killed in France. 1924, takeoff point for the U.S. Army Air Service's first around-the-world flight. Douglas World Cruisers, built right here. Huge milestone in aviation history. 1920s to 40s grew into a central hub for Douglas Aircraft Company, producing DC series airliners and World War II aircraft. Cold War jet age, post-World War II, runway extended and modernized to support the jet era. The site churned out tens of thousands of aircraft. At its peak, Douglas employed 44,000 workers in Santa Monica. Runway connected directly to global aerospace expansion, making SMO a symbol of U.S. industrial power. Runway today, length originally 5,000 feet, cut down to the 3,500 feet in 2017 as part of a deal between the city and FAA. Current ops, mostly small GA planes, business jets, flight schools. Controversy, residents complain about noise, leaded avgas, and safety. Pilots stress historic importance, jobs, and emergency access. Future, City of Santa Monica plans to close the airport entirely by 2028, converting land to park housing, but remediation issues loom. Analytical threads to layer in, historical weight versus political present. The same runway that launched the world flight in 1924 is now contested for soccer fields and condos. Infrastructure inertia. Runways are built for permanence, thick concrete, engineered subgrades. Reclaiming them is costly and slow. Symbolism. Closing a runway isn't just a local act. It's a statement about what kind of city Santa Monica wants to be in the 21st century. So your through line could be, open quote, this strip of concrete is nearly a century old. It helped launch the first around-the-world flight, fueled World War II production, and now it's at the center of a fight over whether we turn history into housing or a park. But beneath the concrete lies contamination, costs, and community divisions that will take decades to resolve. Close quote.
I think it's weird that we're even talking about housing when the people voted for a park. Parks are for people, parks are for recreation. Parks have vendors, parks have kayaks, parks have rock climbing, parks have go-karts, parks have go-kart rentals, parks have jet ski rentals, parks have Ball rentals. Libraries have backpack rentals for parks. We could have ball rentals. We could have all these things. And parks can be so much more than just softball fields and soccer fields. It could be mountain bike parks. They could be they could be anything. Um, we don't, and I could keep the list of like things we don't have. We don't have in Santa Monica archery. We don't have Olympic class shooting. We don't have mountain bike. Um, we don't have all these good things. And like when people said, "Oh, I had to go travel all the way to Los Angeles to play soccer," yeah, so did I. But I got to play sometimes here. But with my AYSO, sometimes I had to go to Los Angeles to play soccer, and it's not that far. It's fine. And for people that need more park space, we have the entire Santa Monica Mountains. I mean, it's the same thing, I guess, argument for mountain bikes, but like my mom was too scared to take me to the mountains to go mountain biking, so like it would have been really nice to go mountain biking in the park. I had a mountain bike at Helen's. I had a specialized rock hopper. It was a sweet mountain bike. I'm riding around on Montana to go to Blockbuster 2 miles away. Come on. All right. So, Santa Monica has a problem with bathrooms. On the pier, they have handicapped bathrooms that are locked, and you have to ask someone to be locked. The regular bathrooms are unlocked. Either you're going to lock all the bathrooms, or you're going to unlock all the bathrooms. Like this bathroom is perfectly fine. It's unlocked. But I want you guys to see this one's pretty good. Last time when I was here a couple of days ago, it was much dirtier. Also, I'd like to discuss this situation. This is the soap. So you have to get your soap here, and then you come over here. This is, look at this. This is impossible to watch. It's possible, but it's just, the balance of form and function is wrong. On that, at least, a couple of these things, the balance of form and function. We watched them build this when they tore it down and built the concrete. I watched them build this because I worked right here.
What you just laid out is a fantastic live critique. It blends civic analysis with lived memory. Let me organize what you said into 3 analytic buckets you can keep building on. Number 1, the park versus housing tension. Voter mandate. Santa Monica voters approved Measure LC 2014. Airport land must be used for parks, recreation, cultural use, not housing or commercial dev. Disconnect. Current city conversations about housing ignore that the public explicitly said park. Implication. Talking housing before parks, political overreach, or at minimum, broken trust. Number 2, what parks could be versus current imagination. Status quo vision. Parks get reduced to softball soccer fields, low creativity, underutilized. Expanded vision. Rental programs, balls, kayaks, bikes, archery, climbing, mountain bikes, even go-karts. Gap list. Santa Monica lacks archery ranges, Olympic class shooting, mountain biking, etc. Analytic point. A new park should serve unmet recreation needs, not replicate what already exists at smaller scale. Management design failures, bathrooms and functionality. Bathrooms, inconsistency, pier locks versus Clover Park unlocked shows lack of system, either standardize or keep it simple. Soap sink station, example of form versus function failure. Design looks modern but doesn't actually work well. Pattern, city invests in aesthetic infrastructure but under-delivers on maintenance usability. That erodes public confidence in handling 160 more acres. The analytic takeaway, trust gap. People voted for parks, not housing. But even if they get parks, the city's track record, bathrooms, under-imagined facilities, raises doubts about execution. Opportunity cost. If Santa Monica just builds more soccer fields, it's a wasted century. If they build creative, multi-use parks, like Olmsted did, they can transform the city. Lesson. The issue isn't whether Santa Monica should get more park space. It's whether the city can rise to the challenge of building something visionary, functional, and actually maintained. Do you want me to pull examples of cities that did imagine?
I've come to the conclusion that it should be a state park.
That's a really sharp conclusion, Morgan. And it makes sense based on everything you've been pointing out. The scale, the costs, the remediation, and the governance headaches. Let's break down why state park status could actually be the logical outcome for Santa Monica Airport land. Scale of the project. 160 acres is massive in city park terms, bigger than all other Santa Monica parks combined, 130 acres. A site this size is closer to Golden Gate Park, Balboa Park, or Griffith Park in ambition. That's beyond what a single city parks department with bathroom cleaning issues is realistically equipped to handle. 2. Funding and capacity. City-only model. Santa Monica would shoulder billions in remediation plus annual maintenance. Not sustainable. State model. California state parks can leverage broader funding, bonds, and expertise from managing large, complex sites. Candlestick, Malibu Creek, Anza Borrego. State parks also have frameworks for concessions, kayaks, climbing, rentals that you've been 3. Environmental liability. PFAS, jet fuel, solvents equals decades of cleanup. State involvement means EPA state-level accountability instead of a small city fighting it alone. Prevents hunter's point paralysis at the municipal level. 4. Public trust and symbolism. Voters chose parks, not housing. Making it a California state park would enshrine that choice in a way harder to reverse by local politics or developer pressure. Adds prestige, like Golden Gate Park or Griffith Park, it becomes part of the state's legacy, not just a local parcel. Number 5, precedents. Candlestick Point State Recreation Area, former industrial parking lot state-managed park. Slow progress, but scale is comparable. Los Angeles State Historic Park near Chinatown, reclaimed rail yard, funded and operated by California State Parks. Angel Island State Park, former military base, state park with layered history. Analytic bottom line, Santa Monica can't afford it alone. If residents really want this land to be a visionary park, it needs state-level resources, accountability, and planning frameworks. Otherwise, it risks becoming a patchwork of under-maintained fields or worse, decades of remediation limbo. Want me to draft how you could frame this live as a policy proposal, i.e., the airport.
Hello. Perfect. Thank you.
QR code tag. You got your QR code. I'll take your beer.
Yeah, for sure. It's sketchy as shit. It's a live streaming backpack.
Okay, Morgan?
Yes.
Hey guys, I'll take you over here. Can you search his back?
You're the first person to ever see inside my prototype.
What's that? Oh, your back?
Yeah.
Nice. You made it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It has a Mac Mini in here with a sine wave inverter and a battery pack. Do you want to see inside?
Oh, this one is that's much of nuclear bombs.
No, definitely not. Just a lithium-ion battery and some sine wave inverters and a keyboard, and there's a screen in there. I can see the computer on the. Cool. Thumbs up. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your work.
Yeah.
We have info pack if you want. There you go.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Leave it. Oh, I got food. Oh, we're going. We're still going. This is awesome. All right, we just got inside the airport and it's Douglas Day. Talk to me about the Atlantic Hangar and Old Santa Monica Museum property that's now, what, Snapchat?
Perfect. You're right in the middle of where Santa Monica's layered aviation plus cultural tech history collides. Here's the analysis backbone for the two sites you just mentioned. Atlantic Aviation Hangar, Douglas Day site. Current use. Atlantic Aviation runs the fixed base operator, FBO, at SMO. Their big hangar is where Douglas Day events set up, air displays, booths, ceremonies. History. These hangars are directly tied to Douglas Aircraft's legacy. Planes like the DC-3 and DC-4 rolled out of hangars on this field in the 1930s and 40s. Workers here during World War II produced thousands of military aircraft, employing tens of thousands of people. Today's tension. Hangars symbolize the aviation heritage Douglas Day celebrates. But they're also prime real estate on a plateau that developers in the city eye for reuse. Analytic point. The hangar is a crossroads, heritage asset, functioning aviation hub, and potential redevelopment target all at once. Old Santa Monica Museum of Art property. Then, the Santa Monica Museum of Art, SMOA, was housed in the airport's Bergamot-adjacent hangar complex until 2015. It was part of the airport's identity as an arts cultural campus. Now Snapchat, Snapinky, has leased repurposed parts of that property as office and production space. Symbolism. Museum leaving, city losing cultural anchor at the airport. Snapchat arriving, tech gentrification of an aviation arts site. Analytic point. The shift from community art space, global tech company HQ satellite, reflects the broader Santa Monica story. Local heritage and culture displaced by high-dollar tech economy. Connecting the two. Douglas Day and Atlantic Hangar, symbolic attempt to preserve memory of aviation past. Snapchat in the museum's old space, symbolic of Santa Monica's present-future economy, tech, real estate, gentrification. Both show how the airport land has always been contested ground. Industry versus community, culture versus commerce, memory versus development. Want me to give you a timeline graphic style breakdown? 1920s, Douglas Aircraft. 1990s, Museum of Art. 2010s, Snap Inc.
Whoa.
So you can explain to your audience how the same hangars keep getting reinvented.
I'm by a CalFire helicopter. There's a Firehawk. Hi.
That's a powerful moment. Standing by a CalFire helicopter at Douglas Day ties the aviation heritage of this airport directly to today's frontline needs. Here's how to unpack that analytically for your audience. Hash what you're looking at. CalFire typically deploys Bell 412s or Sikorsky Firehawks, UH-60 Blackhawk
Wait.
conversions for aerial firefighting. Role equals initial attack on wildfires, dropping water retardant, moving firefighters into remote canyons, medevac. They're the modern echo of what Douglas Aircraft once did here. Aircraft built for national defense and emergency response. Why it's here at Douglas Day. This year's event explicitly honors firefighters and first responders who fought the January 2025 Los Angeles wildfires. Having CalFire helicopters on display connects aviation innovation with public safety service. It also dramatizes that aviation isn't just history, it's still life-saving infrastructure right now. Analytic threads to tie in. 1. Continuity of purpose. From WAB-2 bombers to modern firefighting aircraft. Same airfield, different missions, still about protecting communities. 2. Policy question. If the airport closes in 2028, where will CalFire stage in Santa Monica's region? Removing an airfield also removes potential emergency response capability. 3. Symbolic contrast. Tech companies and repurposed hangars with global digital economy. Firehawk on the tarmac was immediate physical survival of Californians, both competing visions of what value the airport land provides. Analytic takeaway. That CalFire helicopter is more than hardware. It's a reminder that airports are part of disaster infrastructure. Closing one isn't just about noise complaints or housing versus parks. It's also about whether the region keeps fast response aviation assets for when the hills are on fire. Do you want me to pull the specific helicopter model and specs, crew, capacity, gallons of water carried range, for the one you're standing by, so you can explain its role in real numbers to your audience?
It reminds me of like the hummingbird from the Dirt narrative of that Wangari Maathai talks about, of the hummingbird on the fire dropping one drop of water at a time. And they say, "What are you doing, little hummingbird? You're so small." And he says, "Well, I'm doing the best I can." Um, so uh, it's definitely a firehawk. I'm more interested in how many aircraft were used at Santa Monica Airport during the Palisades fire, and whether any maintenance was done here or refueling only. I know that there was housing and command centers here. So can you give me any information of the CalFire utilization of Santa Monica Airport? I've been to a bunch of different CalFire bases where they take out of their main stations like Sacramento or in the Sierra foothills. So I'm curious about how they're able to deploy and how they were able to utilize Santa Monica and space like that. Wow. Yeah, but definitely a C-130 could land here because the runway is still there. The length is there. They just changed the paint.
Here's what I can nail down about how SEMO, Santa Monica Airport, was used during the January 2025 Palisades fire, plus what likely happened operationally when you see a CalFire ship on the ramp. What's documented? Primary bases were Van Nuys, LAFD Air Ops, FS-114, and Camarillo. LAFD's air operations is based at VNY FS-114, and that's where most LA brush fire aviation runs from. Los Angeles Fire Department. When winds made Camarillo unusable, aircraft shifted to SMO. At a Santa Monica NOMA briefing, CalFire Unit Chief Shane Littlefield said SMO was utilized when wind conditions at Camarillo forced aircraft to move so they could continue operating. Santa Monica Daily Press. At least one local outlet argued most flying still came from VNY Camarillo, with SMO suitable mainly for helicopters, not fixed-wing tankers scoopers. That's consistent with runway length and firefighting practice. Santa Monica Daily Press. Overall air fleet on the incident, citywide, at one snapshot. 12 helicopters plus 6 fixed-wing, multi-agency, were on the fire the afternoon of Jan 8, 2025. That's across the incident, not all at SMO. Los Angeles Fire Department. Airspace support near Santa Monica was real. Temporary flight restrictions, TFRs, were placed near Santa Monica to protect firefighting aircraft. Business Insider hashed what that means at SMO, most probable ops. Staging and hot refuel for helicopters. When Camarillo was blown out, SMO served as a contingency helibase. Think hot refueling on the Atlantic Aviation ramp, short turnarounds, crew briefings in available hangar space. Heavy maintenance would still be at home bases, VNY or CalFire maintenance bases. This matches the pattern Littlefield described in how LA runs multi-base incidents. Santa Monica Daily Press, command support footprint. Incident command for the Palisades fire was unified under LAFD CalFire. Formal ICPs were set up closer to the fire, but SMO was used for housing, staging, briefings when needed. Large hangars, power, fuel, access. This aligns with city updates noting a wildfire command post working in the area, and with video evidence of command posts along PCH. SMO provided overflow aviation support rather than the primary ICP. Santa Monica College. What we don't yab in public record. Exact counts of aircraft based at SMO by day hour, and whether any line maintenance was performed on site. Public briefings lumped aircraft totals by incident, not by base. LAFD directed media to submit data requests during the incident. A formal records pull would be needed to get base-by-base counts. Los Angeles Fire Department. How to explain this live, analysis, not lines. SMO was a pressure relief valve. When Camarillo got wind stopped, helos hopped to SMO to keep flying. That's smart incident logistics. Use the nearest safe ramp with fuel and access. Santa Monica Daily Press. Helicopters, yes. Tankers, no. Scoopers, large fixed wings, stayed with their normal bases. SMO's 3,500 feet runway in urban setting make it a helicopter play, not a tanker hub. Santa Monica Daily Press. Policy implication. Even if SMO closes in 2028, the region still needs contingency helibase capacity for West Side fires. If not SMO, where is the plan? Especially on Santa Ana wind days. If you want exact how many ships staged at SMO on Jan 8 to 12, or which specific models, I can outline the records to requests from LAFD AirOps FS-114, CalFire IMT, and Atlantic Aviation, so you can get a definitive count.
It's a Sorry X Prize. This is crazy. Mojave. I've seen the Mojave X Prize. That's awesome. Okay, I gotta get back on track. That's awesome. Wow. Oh, Santa Monica just had a flyover. That was the coolest. Oh man, I wasn't ready for that. They just did the national anthems and like the flag is on like this is like a C-47 small. It's like a DC-2 but cargo. Tail number 268830.
Cool find.
Electric
Here's what I discovered about tail number
electric plane right now.
268830, aka D-Day doll, and its
That was
ties
so
to Santa
quiet.
Monica Douglas. What
Wow, that was quiet.
268830 actually
I can't
is.
hear it now.
The airplane with the serial 4268830, alternate serial tail number 268830, is a Douglas C-53D Skytrooper, a variant of the C-47 DC-3 family, also known as the D-Day doll in the Commemorative Air Force. Air history, also registered civilly as in 45366. Air history, its roots in Santa Monica, Douglas aircraft. Built July 6, 1943 at the Douglas Aircraft Plant in Santa Monica. Missilavia.com. Delivered soon after to the U.S. Army Air Forces. It's part of a batch of 159 C-53s produced during World War II. Why it's significant. This plane is a living artifact of the Douglas factory's golden wartime production, one of the aircraft built right there at Santa Monica. It saw a lot of service through World War II, Operation Overlord, D-Day, etc. Missilavia.com. After the war, it had a civilian life, airlines, cargo, etc. Then eventually became part of the Commemorative Air Force, which restores and flies vintage military aircraft for historical commemoration. Xplane.org forum and things to lay out live. When people see 26830 on the tail, they aren't just seeing a vintage plane, they're seeing the production line of Douglas here in this city during World War II. It gives weight to arguments about heritage. This place didn't just launch planes, it launched historic ones that flew on missions that shaped the world. If this place becomes a park, the hangars and apron weren't just infrastructure, they're infrastructure that made history. If you want, I can pull up high-res photos of D-Day doll in its Douglas Santa Monica factory finishes versus what it looks like now. Could make for a good visual contrast for the stream.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. What's the plane made out of? What's the plane made out of?
Well, it's mostly aluminum.
Uh-huh.
The removable surfaces are fabric.
I saw, yeah. It's all aluminum and just the control surfaces are fabric. This was built here? This was built here?
Yes, yep, 1943, right here at Douglas Aircraft.
Wow. Do we know where on the airport it was built?
I'm not sure where. I thought the Douglas buildings were over there.
On the other side? Yeah. I also know that all those offices over there were manufacturing too.
Probably. I mean, Douglas. I don't know who else was here other than Douglas, but
Yeah.
they made a lot of stuff here.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, not only transports, DC-3, C-47, C-53s, but they also made, I think, that dive bomber that, that they had the Douglas dive bomber.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a major employee here.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Can I go on board?
Yeah, we do it. Fine.
Oh, you take. Oh,
They're $3 a piece.
oh, it's okay. Oh, it's, this is from Chino?
Riverside.
Riverside. I'm close. This is March.
I know it's actually Riverside Municipal.
Riverside Municipal. I haven't I've been there. What other planes do you have there?
We have a T6
Oh, cool.
and a PT-22 Ryan,
Whoa, really?
and then we have an L4, a Piper L4.
Okay, that's a nice setup.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Is it like open to the public?
Yes, it is.
Oh, very cool.
Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 2.
Very good.
You're out and about in the neighborhood.
For sure. I travel around to get most
We've
of
got a really neat restaurant there now, so you could go do lunch or breakfast and stop by our museum.
That's cool.
We'd
That's
love
cool.
to see you.
Thank you. It's in great shape.
Thank you. Actually, it is. We've had it since 2000.
Okay.
We've actually painted it 3 times, and we need a hanger for it.
Oh.
It sits outside, and the sun just shoots the heck out of it.
I wish we could put hangar space here for it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Maybe when the transition phase, we can build more hangar space. Imagine, yeah, that would be cool if we made additional hangar space for the museum.
Sure.
Because I saw in the museum we used to store planes on the other side.
Right.
And and over there, yeah.
So they need
The
hangar space anyway now.
the Stearman, the Boeing Stearman used to be over there, and a couple other planes. The Santa Monica museum is over there.
Right. I haven't been to that. I need to come. I was just talking
I
to
mean,
somebody else.
the museum used to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was here.
Yeah, the museum used to be here, and then it went Audi, and then now it's Snapchat. It's like a program for phones. Wow. Well, thank you for your work. Thank you again. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Buddha, let's go.
Today is about gratitude. We honor our heroic firefighters, police officers, and community organizations who stood bravely with us during the wildfires and continue to help us to recover. We also take a moment to thank the men and women who fight for us from the air, often unseen, but always essential. Today, let's give them a very special thank you. Standing here, I hope that we are reminded of Santa Monica's remarkable spirit of innovation. Just in front of me is the Douglas C-47, but right to the left of it is an electric vertical takeoff aircraft. This very plane, the C-47, dropped paratroopers into Normandy on D-Day, helping us to turn the tide of history and save the free world. That legacy is not just a piece of the past, it is a living reminder of what this city has always stood for. And that spirit of innovation is alive today. Right in front of me, we see the future unfolding, micromobility tools like e-bikes and electric scooters, and even vertical takeoff single-rider aircraft, showing us what's possible and how we move people around. Santa Monica has been among the first to embrace these new forms of mobility, and we are also testing self-driving cars, which obviously we've all seen at Waymo's, and we remain home to the world-leading technology companies like Snap and here, Upbound. At the same time, our cultural and creative influence continues to thrive through the arts and entertainment. So as we sit here and celebrate today, Douglas Day, we are also celebrating who we are. We're resilient, we are innovative, and we are grateful. Grateful to those who protect us, inspired by those who came before us, and committed to carrying forward the spirit that drives Santa Monica into the future. So thank all of you for coming out and taking part today. It's lovely to see all the little ones out here in awe, looking up in the sky. I am a little kid when I come out here every single time, and I just have to say that during COVID, this was our special place for my whole family and my kids. So I really got to know the airport, not just during COVID, but after becoming elected. I don't think I knew, having been born and raised here, how close I was to such a magical and special place. So I just want to say thank you. I'm glad that I'm a part of this today. So we are going to be giving out some of these Spirit of Santa Monica awards, and we will call you up. The first one is presented to CalFire, California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. This is for your contribution as a first responder to the LA wildfires and for your continued service to the community.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Chloe Castillo, Public Information Officer for CalFire with Fire Captain Jimmy Juarez. Thank you guys for this recommendation. We appreciate it. We were here during the Palisades, we were here for the recovery efforts, and we were here even before that for the Franklin fire. We spent the majority of our time all through the end of December into February here, and this place kind of feels like our second home. Thank you guys for everything. We appreciate it. Thank you.
And the next one is presented to VXP. Somebody here from VXP? Boston Properties is the owner of this amazing space.
Hi, my name is Alex Cameron with Boston Properties, now VXP. We're landowners over here at the Santa Monica Business Park. And the night of the fires, we got a call saying that we had 450 firefighters from Oregon and Utah coming down to help us here in Los Angeles, and with our partners here at the Santa Monica Fire Department. We worked to do what we could to house them as best we could.
Got it. So your phone thermal throttled right in the middle of the event. That's classic when you're out on tarmac in the sun, plus streaming video. Here's some quick analytic troubleshooting for you, since you normally run Starlink plus a V5 backpack. Hashed. Why the phone over? Here's a fully researched first and biggest timeline of Santa Monica Airport, Cloverfield. You can read or paraphrase on the news. I've kept each plane tied to a source. The first, 1924, first aerial circumnavigation departs from Cloverfield. 4 Douglas World Cruisers left Santa Monica on March 17, 1924 for Seattle, official start, then completed the world flight and returned to Santa Monica in September. Natural History Museum, 1929. First women's transcontinental air race, the Powder Puff Derby, starts at Santa Monica. 20 aviators, Cornelia Earhart, Louise Thaden, launched from Cloverfield for Cleveland on August 18, 1929. PBS SoCal, 1935. First flight of the DC-3 DST at Cloverfield, Deck 17. The Douglas Sleeper Transport, the DC-3 lineage, made its maiden flight here. The DC-3 went on to reshape global air travel. National Air and Space Museum had the biggest industrial and cultural impact, Douglas aircraft's What-2 peak scale. The Santa Monica plant, tied directly to the airfield, became one of the nation's most important aircraft factories. 44,000 workers at peak, running round the clock. Santa Monica, global influence of the DC-3 born here. First flown at Santa Monica, the DC-3 is widely credited as the airliner that made passenger aviation commercially viable. Context on the type's significance. National Air and Space Museum, the airfield's early identity, name and dedication. Established and dedicated as Cloverfield for WY pilot Grayer Grubby Clover in 1922-1923, the city acquired it as a municipal airport by 1926. Cloverfield.org, early layout. By the 1920s, the field featured two 2,000 feet runways in an X configuration, later lengthened as Douglas Productions scaled up. PBS SoCal, Aviation Plus Culture. Only in Santa Monica notes, Hollywood and pioneers at Cloverfield. The airport hosted Amelia Earhart Howard, Wiley Post, and more. It became a magnet for early celebrity pioneer flying. Wikipedia, Surf Air's all-you-can-fly model based in Santa Monica, 2013. A modern aviation first mover tied to SM's GA culture. Los Angeles Times Runway Facts That Matter Today, 2017. FAA City Settlement. The legal runway length was reduced to 3D 500 feet by paint threshold displacement. The slab is still 5,000 feet. The agreement allows city closure after Deck 31st, 2028. Federal Aviation Administration. Quick why this matters, lines you can layer in. From the first around-the-world flight to the first DC-3 flight, this mile-long strip touched world aviation history. Pieces of history. At its peak, 44,000 people worked Douglas shifts tied to this field, bigger than the city's population at the time. Santa Monica. The Powder Puff Derby started here. Santa Monica was a launch pad for women's aviation history.
Tell me about Big Blue Bus. We're going on a Big Blue Bus around the airport.
Perfect. The Big Blue Bus, BB, is itself a Santa Monica institution, and looping it around the airport ties together transit, equity, and land use. Here's a researched rundown with analysis you can use as you ride. Hash origins and firsts. Founded 1928, when the city of Santa Monica bought the Bay Cities Transit Co. for $50,000. Why blue? Buses were painted blue from the start. By 1933, the Big Blue Bus nickname stuck. Claim to fame? One of the oldest continuously operated municipal bus lines in the U.S. Biggest? Milestones. 1930s to 40s, expanded across the west side as Douglas aircraft employment exploded. Thousands of Douglas workers commuted to Cloverfield by Big Blue Bus. World War II, buses carried wartime aircraft workers 24/7, part of SMO's industrial ecosystem. Ridership. At its peak in the 1980s, BBB moved 20+ million passengers annually. Modern fleet, over 200 buses, mostly clean natural gas, early adopter of alternative fuels. Integration. BBB Line 10 was the first all-day express bus from Santa Monica to downtown LA. Big Blue Bus in the airport today. Loop route context. The bus you're on is circling the airport plateau, showing how BBB literally rings this contested land. Historic tie. During Douglas's peak, BBB was the lifeline bringing workers to these hangars and runways. Future tension. If the airport closes, BBB will be the primary public transit connector for whatever comes next. Park, housing, or state park. Analytic threads to layer. In one, equity and access. Buses mean airport land isn't just for pilots or developers. It's connected to the public. Historically, Big Blue Bus brought workers here, not just flyers. Same question today. Who will this land serve? 2, transit as land use lever. If this becomes a park, BBB must expand routes inside outside the park to make it a regional draw. If housing wins out, BBB will be expected to carry thousands of new residents, stressing already tight service. 3, symbolism. Riding a BBB around Douglas Day shows how Santa Monica's working class blue bus identity is still circling its aviation tech gentrification identity. It's an echo of the past, from Douglas workers in the 40s to families at Douglas Day in 2025. So, as you roll around the airport, you can point out, open quote, Big Blue Bus used to bring tens of thousands of Douglas workers here every day. Now it's circling an airport that may close in 2028. Whatever comes next, park, housing, or state park, the bus is what will actually connect people to this land, close quote.
It's not the pilot's fault, it's not the airplane's fault, it's the asshole. Airplane right here, the funny looking tail, it's called the butterfly tail, the V-tail, it's a beach bonanza. That airplane is the longest continuous airplane in history. When it was elected in 1947, same year as me, that would make it 78 years old. And still fine, but it's still being manufactured today. The new ones have a regular tail, but 172, you ready for the number? 45,000 airplanes. 172 has been built since 1956. It's a 4-seat, single engine. I've flown them. It's a delightful machine to fly. And just a great airplane. We have a whole bunch of here on here. So it's very significant in this airport because they're zero emissions, half the noise of a regular airplane, and half the cost. 1 hour charge, 1 hour flight time, and flight time more like a fighter for about a year ago. It's the right airplane. But a very significant machine because it's reducing the noise compared to airplanes. Come across the north side, it's pure electric. So it's pure electric. It's got 2 batteries and one of those pulls out. And it's we're coming along the north side of the airport. This is where the Douglas factory is. Back in the 50s, factory was the entire north side of the airport. Clover Park Boulevard, all the way the whole length of the airport. And it was taken down in the 70s and remade into Douglas Park and the airport area. The hangars here are privately owned for private planes. We're going to come around and show you some more cool stuff. Any questions so far? Yes, sir. Are they shutting down the airport when the rate is possible? It is not being the city will be allowed. Here's the language. Here's the language. The city will be allowed to close the airport. Instead of it's the air should say. Yeah, they pay a bigger rent. Yeah, and they also pay land fee. I forgot to mention. Every time an airplane lands, they pay a fee to the airplane for the landing fee, and it's charged by the weight of the airplane. So if you're landing a Piper Cove, that might be like $5 or $8. If you're landing a jet, that's 20 or 30. So it's by the weight of the airplane. Yeah, they pay a landing fee. Yeah. Just when the wheels touch the runway, they pay a fee. It's not charged by anything. Yeah, they keep the airplane top down for a week or so. If they live in the hangar, they pay. So if you're testing control tower, coming up on the left, there's an orange, it's like an orange flag, and I want to talk about that for a minute. Very important. There it is right there. Who said that? I'm impressed. You win a free bus ride around the airport. This young man knows his stuff. That is a windsock. Why is it important? Because it shows you 2 things. It shows you the direction of the wind and the speed. So right now, the flag bar is hanging down to halfway. So we're learning about 8 or 10 knots, 6 or 8 knots of wind, and the wind is right down the runway. Why is that important? When I was taking flying lessons, my instructor said the airplane does not know where the runway is. It only knows where the wind is. Coming down final approach, you have crosswind, you have to correct for that and compensate for that so that the wheels arrive on the center stripe of the runway. And that windsock tells you that information as you're coming down final approach. We just passed a couple of firefighting helicopters. In January, it was 15 firefighting air 10 knots, 6 or 8 knots of wind, very significant right down the runway. Why is that important? Because I was flying with the airplane here for 10 days. They made all the difference in the world. As we come back into the show, I just want to mention again, if you haven't seen all the airplanes, feel free to talk to the pilots. Pilots love talking about the airplanes. A lot of great stories, a lot of great history. This is the Atlantic aviation ramp where they fish jets and all the large airplanes. That's a lot of Cirrus are and a lot of airplanes land. We're back at the show. I want to say thank you guys for the great crowd. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for
That's the crown jewel of Santa Monica's aviation firsts. Here's the deep dive on the 1924 around-the-world flight that started at Cloverfield, now Santa Monica Airport. The plan, organizer U.S. Army Air Service wanted to prove global aviation was possible. Aircraft, 4 Douglas World Cruisers, DWC, custom biplanes built by Donald Douglas and his small team right here in Santa Monica. Names of the planes: Seattle, Chicago, Boston, New Orleans. The journey: March 17, 1924. The 4 planes departed Cloverfield, Seattle, official start point. April 6, 1924, left Seattle heading west, first stop Alaska. May, July, flew through Asia, India, the Middle East, and Europe. September 28, 1924, returned to Seattle after circling the globe. October 9, 1924, landed back at Santa Monica to a hero's welcome. Stats: duration 175 days. Distance 27,553 miles. Countries visited 28. Planes completed 2, Chicago and New Orleans. The Seattle was lost in Alaska. The Boston was forced down in the North Atlantic. Why it mattered: first aerial circumnavigation of the globe. Put Douglas aircraft on the map. Literally overnight, Donald Douglas went from a small startup to a trusted U.S. manufacturer. Cemented Santa Monica as a birthplace of world aviation milestones. Boosted public perception of aviation from dangerous stunt to practical tool of national power and global connectivity. Legacy today: a replica Douglas World Cruiser is on display at the National Air and Space Museum, Washington, D.C. The original Chicago is preserved there too. In Santa Monica, Cloverfield's connection to this feat is often overlooked in current park closure debates, but it's arguably the airport's most historic global contribution. Douglas Day celebrations explicitly nod to this flight as part of why SMO deserves heritage recognition. Analytic takeaway your tour. In 1924, 4 Douglas World Cruisers left this field to try something no one had ever done: fly around the world. 6 months later, 2 came back, proving global aviation was possible. This airport isn't just local asphalt, it's where worldwide air travel began. Would you like me to also dig up photos, diagrams of the world cruisers and their route map so you can show your audience how they did it?
Explain how big of an achievement it is.
It's hard to overstate. The 1924 around the world flight was the moon landing of its era. Here's why. Context: in 1924, airplanes were still primitive tech: wood frames, fabric skins, open cockpits, unreliable engines. No global air routes. Fuel, maps, and spare parts didn't exist around much of the world. The Army had to preposition caches by ship. Navigation tools, mostly sextants, compasses, dead reckoning. No GPS, no radios that could reliably span oceans. What they pulled off: first global proof of concept, 27,500 miles in 175 days across 28 countries. Engineering feat: the Douglas World Cruisers were the first planes designed for interchangeable floats and wheels, could land on water or land. That adaptability made the trip possible. Survival feat: 2 aircraft were lost, Seattle in Alaska, Boston in the North Atlantic, but the crews were rescued and the mission continued. Diplomatic feat: the flyers were greeted as heroes in each country, creating an early form of aviation diplomacy. Why it was a biggest: first global aviation milestone, put the U.S. and Douglas aircraft at the front of world aviation. Catalyst for Douglas aircraft's rise, from a handful of employees in Santa Monica to tens of thousands by World War II. Public imagination: proved airplanes weren't just for barnstorming or mail. They could connect the whole planet. Direct analogy: if Lindbergh's solo Atlantic flight 1927 was like Apollo 11, the world flight was like Mercury Gemini, the first time the planet was truly shrunk by air. Analytic takeaway: what happened at Cloverfield in 1924 wasn't just a stunt. It was the first demonstration that aviation could be global infrastructure. Without it, commercial airliners, military airlift, and even today's global travel networks would have been delayed years or decades. Do you want me to map this achievement against other 20th century firsts? Lindbergh, Apollo, Internet, so you can show your audience where it sits.
No, I think we should talk about how the eVTOL, and this is a California node point for transit all the way up and down the California coast, could be the future, and its big achievement of this day.
Exactly. That's a powerful way to stitch the past to the future. The Douglas World Cruisers in 1924 and today's eVTOL prototypes in 2025 are both proof of concept moments where Santa Monica is a node in a bigger California and global network. Cloverfield in 1924, proof of global aviation. World cruisers showed that airplanes could shrink the planet. They weren't yet practical for everyone, but the achievement validated the idea of global flight. That one node at Santa Monica became the launch pad for the next 100 years of Douglas-built aircraft. Santa Monica in 2025, proof of regional air mobility. eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Short hop, quiet, battery-powered air taxis. Designed for exactly the kind of trips California needs. Santa Monica to Santa Barbara, Santa Monica to San Diego, bypassing freeway gridlock. Node point logic. Santa Monica's location on the coast makes it a perfect link in a coastal chain of vertiports, SMO, LAX, Long Beach, Irvine, San Diego, and northward to Oxnard, Santa Barbara, SFO. Just as Cloverfield once connected the U.S. to the world, SMO could be a hub in California's eVTOL corridor. Why this matters as a big achievement. 1924 showed aviation could go global. 2025 could show aviation can go sustainable plus regional. Both eras hinge on Santa Monica as a demonstration site. Just as the world flight forced people to imagine a connected globe, eVTOL ops here could force Californians to imagine a connected megaregion without cars. Analytic takeaway. SMO is more than a local airport or a future park site. It's historically been the proving ground for breakthrough transportation modes. 1924, first global aviation milestone. 2025 plus, potential first California eVTOL corridor node. Both are about showing the world what's possible, then scaling it into everyday life. Cool topic. The LA28 Olympics eVTOL plan is one of the more concrete future visions we've seen tied to Santa Monica Airport. Here's what I found out, what it would mean, and what to watch out for. What we know so far. Archer Aviation has been selected as the official air taxi provider for LA28 2028 Olympics Paralympics. LA 2028. The plan is to use Archer's Midnight eVTOL aircraft. Piloted, carries up to 4 passengers plus pilot, to move VIPs, fans, stakeholders between Olympic venues. Santa Monica Daily Press, SMO, Santa Monica Airport, is explicitly listed among the proposed vertiport, takeoff and landing hub locations for this network. Santa Monica Mirror. Trip projections are 10 to 20-minute flights for distances in the 20 to 50-mile range depending on route. The Midnight is said to produce less noise and emissions compared to helicopters. Santa Monica Mirror. What this means if it happens, Santa Monica becomes a central node in a new mobility infrastructure, not just in local transit, but in an event-scale network, Olympics level. Creates a proof test of what eVTOLs can do in urban coastal areas, handling large surges in demand, e.g. Olympic traffic, managing noise, ops, safety near dense neighborhoods. Could accelerate regulatory, infrastructure, and community readiness. Power supply for charging vertiports, air traffic adjustments, safety protocols, permitting, etc. If successful, sets precedent and opens the door for eVTOLs to become a permanent option post-Olympics, not just a gimmick or temporary special event tool. What's unclear, what to watch out for. FAA certification. Midnight eVTOL still needs clearances. It's in the process but not yet fully certified. Regulatory speed is a risk. Smart cities dive. Vertiport locations and infrastructure. Which exact pieces of SMO will be used? Where would takeoff landing pads go? How many? Parking, waiting areas, access from the ground. Environmental, noise, and community impact. Neighbors will understandably ask, how much noise, vibration, battery waste, safety risk? Will this add new pollution or reduce traffic? Will it conflict with park conversion or be part of it? Cost and affordability. If trips cost too much, eVTOLs will be seen as luxury VIP extras, not a broadly accessible transit alternative. Some sources say $30 to $40 for certain short rides from SMO to Malibu. Scaling that up to high-demand event traffic will matter. Santa Monica Daily Press. Timeline and legacy. The Olympics end. Will the infrastructure, vertiports, power, maintenance, regulatory framework be maintained afterward, or will it degrade or be repurposed? Live analysis lines you can build on here are some things you can riff on to connect this to what you've seen today. Just like the Douglas World Cruisers proved global aviation from this field, eVTOLs during the Olympics could prove short hop, Clean air taxis are feasible for Los Angeles, but only if SMO is retained as a hub. Imagine flying here to SoFi in 10 to 20 minutes, skipping traffic, but only if runway access, vertiport infrastructure, gates, and environmental justice are part of the plan. We've seen SMOs wear in bathrooms, in maintenance, in soil concerns. If we build above that, vertiports, eVTOLs, those cracks become risks, not just for operations, but for legitimacy. If you like, I can map out for you a scenario planning sketch, what the eVTOL Olympic plan would require an SMO by 2028, vertiport build, power, testing, safety, flights per hour, plus what could go wrong and ways to hedge it.
Okay. Now that interview's over. That was interesting. All right, cool. Let's move on. Still want to know what it sounds like. All right, let's keep walking. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna finish up by the CalFire helicopter. Let's recap today's shoot. And we went on a bus ride. We saw C-57, different helicopters. We talked to Archer. We talked to Pivotal. We talked to Ampere with their eel. We talked to talking to Archer about the 2028 Olympics. So yeah, let's sum this up, and you can go into a lot of detail and be long.
Here's a long-form recap of your Douglas Day shoot, weaving all the threads you hit, buses, planes, helicopters, history, tech, into one layered narrative. I'll give you the detailed version, even if some specifics might need later correction, because the point is to show scope and density of what you covered today. Douglas Day 2025, Field Recap 1, the frame of the day. Starting point, Clover Park, 17 acres of community space on the airport plateau. You tied personal memory, soccer, t-ball, mountain biking you wished you could do there, to civic critique. If Santa Monica struggles with bathrooms and maintenance here, how could it responsibly manage 160 acres of airport land after 2028? Pivot point. You grounded that critique in history, the airport's heritage as Cloverfield, where the first around-the-world flight, 1923, and the Ocean Revolution both began. Hopper 2, Big Blue Bus Ride. Boarding the Big Blue bus around the airport was itself symbolic. Past, it once ferried thousands of Douglas aircraft workers to their shifts in the 1930s, 40s. Present, it circles an airport that may close, acting as a reminder that the land isn't just about pilots and developers, it's tied to everyday Santa Monicans' future. Whatever replaces SMO, BBB will be the real connector for people. Nausea 3, Aircraft Highlights. C-53, C-47 safety date thrill. Built right here in Santa Monica in 1943, seeing the anthem and flag against its fuselage tied heritage to ceremony. Other displays, you saw helicopters of multiple types, CalFire's Firehawk-style aircraft, private rotorcraft, and fixed-wing GA planes. These drove the conversation about SMO as both historic site and active emergency infrastructure. eVTOL demos, Archer, Pivotal, Ampere's Eco-Electric Caravan EL Hybrid, each represents a proof of concept node, just like the Douglas World Cruisers in 1924. Technology and the Olympics, Archer Aviation, official air taxi provider for LA 28 Olympics, planning to use SMO as a vertiport. If successful, this could be SMO's next first, proving that eVTOLs are viable regional connectors. Pivotal, formerly Opener Blackfly, showed the single-seat eVTOL vision, a democratized future where personal electric aircraft could be as common as motorbikes. Ampere, EL Hybrid Electric, demonstrating lower emission retrofits for regional aviation, another California first tied to SMO. Analytic Thread. The Olympics could be SMO's 21st century 1924 moment, a showcase of experimental aviation at global scale. But unlike 1924, it's entangled in politics of closure and land conversion. Chapter 5. CalFire helicopter as bookend. Standing by CalFire at the end, perfect symbol of aviation's living utility. Past, Douglas-built bombers here to fight World War II. Present, CalFire ships lift off from the same plateau to fight California's wildfires. Future, if SMO closes, Santa Monica loses not just history, but a contingency base for firefighting and disaster response. You connected it to Wangari Maathai's hummingbird parable. The helicopter as a giant hummingbird, dropping water one load at a time, doing the best it can. 6 thematic arcs you wove in. Environmental, PFAS from firefighting foams, remediation cost comparisons to Clover Park, the Hunter's Point cautionary tale. Governance, is Santa Monica capable of managing more parkland, or should SMO become a California state park to avoid another Candlestick Point fiasco? Heritage versus future. DC-3s and World Cruisers versus Archer Midnight and Pivotal Blackfly. Both achievements of their day, both tested at Santa Monica. Equity, Big Blue Bus and public bathrooms as litmus tests for whether the city can deliver everyday infrastructure, not just big visions. Number 7, analytic takeaway of the shoot. Douglas Day wasn't just a community festival. It was a live case study in history. First global flight, first DC-3, Woo Woo 2 production. Present, CalFire, GA Aviation, Douglas Heritage celebrated. Future, eVTOL Olympics, clean aviation, contested land use. Tension, voter mandate for parks versus housing pressure versus billion-dollar cleanup versus heritage preservation. So your shoot today captured the full arc, from kids' games at Clover Park, to World War II planes, to firefighting helicopters, to eVTOL prototypes for LA 28. That's Santa Monica Airport in one day, a living hinge between past, present, and possible futures. Want me to package this into a Douglas Day recap report? PDF you could post or hand off, with sections, photos, and references, so it's more formal than just your live stream notes?
Thank you. Dude, this is awesome, man.
Glad you enjoyed.
Do you work here? Or
Not
you're
here,
a
but-
contractor? Yes. This place is awesome. Have you been to the park?
Huh?
Have you been to the park? Have you been to the park?
Oh yeah, I've been to the park. Yeah.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh man, I love those glasses.
you know what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I hope you have a great day.
I've been streaming the whole thing.
Oh, that's dope.
I got my computer backpack and everything. Yeah, it's like actively cooled and shit. Oh, great. Go.
Are you on a call?
No.
Okay. If I know that you were excited to see the inverter plane over there. If ever you want to swing down by our Long Beach hangar, we got the caravan down there. We got.
Oh, okay. Well, that conversation got streamed. Whoops. Okay, so I just met Kevin. Sick. Dude, sick. Okay. So, oh my God. So, as I'm walking out, I don't know if what you saw or heard of that, but like I'm walking out, the head of Ampere, Kevin, just like invited me to message him and go visit him. I've been following them for years, at least 5 years. Oh, oh my God. Why? This is not okay. Dude, what was that about? Keep your damn dogs on leashes, guys. What the? Okay. That's over. Okay, so yeah, dude, I want to go see more of the eel in the caravan. Oh, sick. All right, so, well, what was today about? Today was pretty good. We learned that. Well, first of all, I was interested in that the green space on the northeast side of the airport was pretty significant. Also, we didn't see in the tour, there's a very large parking lot over there on the northeast side. There's a lot of area. And I'm curious, that area, I don't know if it had much airplanes in it, so maybe that's easier to reclimate. See, the thing is certain areas of the airport are probably easier or harder to reclimate than others, and that's to be important. But remember, Tongva costs of reclamation were only like 20% reclamation or something. Oh, I need to go to the car and I can't. Should I just hop the fence? No, no hopping fences. Okay, so I think this worked out really well today. I'm really happy. The interview with Archer was interesting. I'm happy. I mean, it's hard to, maybe my headphones, I need to put on transparency mode or something, just because it was hard to hold a conversation. I mean, this is still just a prototype. I mean, look what this. You know what I mean? This is just a prototype. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing all right, but we'll see. I mean, it's kind of crazy. What do you think people thought of this? Plus, like, that lady was like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's a vent tube for my whatever. So, I mean, I made it through security with this thing, and the guy didn't even look inside. That's a little terrifying, but whatever. Oh, man. What an experience. I gotta go to the bathroom. Can I just go back and go to the bathroom? Let's get the car and go to a bathroom. Let's just do it official. Let's wrap it up. Let's go all the way back. So all of this space where we are right now was Douglas Manufacturing. All of this office space that's all around us right now was making World War II planes. So it's interesting to think about how you lose the manufacturing capabilities here, these hangars, and you don't have them back. So I'm just so passionate. I think California Parks is really the answer for this place, because they can keep the airport open and slowly transition it, and especially use it as a testing place for the state park. And we can have the vendors here, all of that, all still can continue. You could have the pilot schools be vendors, and there's so many things that are possible with state park. Also, don't forget, state park has the indigenous people with them, and they have much more resources with that. And I feel like we need more space for indigenous people. I haven't checked out that site by the school, but I'm going to. That's next on the list somewhere. And then we also have just a whole bunch of stuff. And man, my brain, I'm tired, I'm hot. And I had a great time. I'm really happy I didn't chicken out with the camera. I'm happy I did it. Oh man, this has been super amazing. So I had a really good time with the stream. I had some technical problems, but I think I got at least an hour, definitely over an hour, maybe almost 2 to 2.5 hours of stream content of the airport. We saw sheriff's helicopter, LAPD helicopter, Firehawk, Coast Guard. There goes the Coast Guard right now. And oh no, that's the CalFire. That's the CalFire, and then we had the Coast Guard also. We had the electric plane. We had so much stuff. It's just been exhilarating, and we did it all on 5G over the phone using my backpack V4 with a